Hi, it's Adrian again, and this is our last class, our last video of this unit of grade time 4, unit 11. And today, in this class, we're going to talk about adjectives with negative prefixes. Okay, so we have adjectives like happy, important, etc., etc. But if we want to make the opposite of this adjective, if we want to make them negative, we can use some prefixes, okay? And those are some of the prefixes that we can use, like in, ir, un, im, il, dis, okay? So let's take a look at this. We have some words here, that were taken from the texts, some sentences that are about the texts that we have read, and we have some underlined words. What is our job here? We have to replace the underlined words with only one word. For example, Mr. Reader was not concerned about his own safety. If we want to replace not concerned by one word, we can use the prefix un before the adjective concerned. So we say unconcerned. Mr. Reader was unconcerned about his own safety. How can we replace the other ones? For example, it was not possible to get the donkey out of the well. So how can I write only one word using a prefix with the word possible? This is very easy. So what is the opposite of possible? You know? Yes, it's impossible. So it was impossible to get the donkey out of the well. So now I'm going to give you a challenge. We haven't learned yet which ones are in or am or ill, but I want you to use your knowledge of English, your feeling, okay? And try to replace all of those underlined words by only one word using the prefix, the negative prefixes that you see here, all right? In, ir, un, im, il, or dis, all right? I'll give you some minutes for you to do that. See you in a minute. Okay, we're back. And did you have a difficult time to do it? So let's see together. Let's correct. So it was not possible to get the donkey out of the well. I told you that the opposite of possible is impossible. So here we have, it was impossible to get the donkey out of the well. Okay, so the opposite of possible is impossible. Let's see the next one. The farmer thought the donkey was dead and he was not happy. What is the opposite of happy? Yes, unhappy. The farmer thought the donkey was dead and he was unhappy. Okay? It's not surprising that they get so many crazy calls. So what is the opposite of not surprising? It's unsurprising that they get so many crazy calls. Surprising, unsurprising. Some people call 911 for not important reasons. So what is the opposite of important? Unimportant reasons. Some people call 911 for unimportant reasons. These not necessary calls take up a lot of time. What is the opposite of necessary? It's unnecessary. These unnecessary calls take up a lot of time. Okay? You should never call with information that it's not true, it's not responsible, and it's also not legal. So what is the opposite of true? It is untrue. So you should never call with information that it's untrue. The opposite of responsible, it's irresponsible, and the opposite of legal, and it's illegal. Okay? So how do you know that, Teacher Adriano? When it's on, ill, ear? Well, it's a matter of using it. You don't have like a rule for you to know which prefix to use, okay? It's a matter of using and using and using. And some of them are really similar to the Portuguese language. For example, responsible, irresponsible. In Portuguese, we have irresponsável, okay? Or legal, illegal. In Portuguese, we have ilegal. All right? So some of them are similar to our first language. Okay, so now your second exercise is to separate those words into the correct columns in your notebook, okay? The column with an, in, ear, or ill. So I'll give you some more minutes for you to do that, okay? See you in 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, we're back. And so how was your columns? Let's see here how you wrote the adjectives in the different columns. So here we have it's unsurprising, uncomfortable, unhelpful, unhealthy, unconcerned, and unafraid. Im is impatient, impossible, and impolite. With in, it's informal, inexpensive. With ir, irresponsible, irregular. And with ill, illogical, illegal. Okay? And finally, we have the last activity. Do you think it's impolite to talk with food in your mouth? So you have to use those words here, okay, to complete these sentences here. So it's according to the context. All right? So 2 more minutes for you to do it. Okay, so let's correct. Do you think it's to eat fried food? What do you think the best word here is from these words here? It's unhealthy. So do you think it's unhealthy to eat fried food? What about number 2? Do you worry about tests? Or are you, which one? Are you unconcerned? So you're not worried about them. Concerned, the opposite is unconcerned. Number 3, do you sometimes get a little when you have to wait for things? A little, wow, I have to wait. A little impatient. Patient, the opposite, impatient. Number 4, do your parents think you're to be at home alone all weekend? You're too what? You're too irresponsible to be at home alone all weekend. Okay, so irresponsible. And finally, number 5. Do you think that clothes are always bad quality? That, what's the opposite of expensive? Inexpensive. Do you think that inexpensive clothes are always bad quality? Okay. All right. I hope you could get the meaning of all of those adjectives. And as I said before, it's a matter of using them more and more. There is no rule for you to memorize. All right? So thanks. That's the end of video 6, class 6, and that's the end of unit 11 of grade time 4. See you next unit. Bye-bye.